One of the best things we're doing now is partnering with our districts in which where we're located. And this started actually about 3 years ago in New York City, where we had received a state grant that allowed us to share our work with other district public schools. The one requirement, no charter schools could actually attend these trainings. At first we tried to go top down by contacting the leaders of district and the chancellor and doing it that way. But like all reforms, you can't force it. And we ended up going down the path of finding 300 teachers and leaders who were interested in learning what we were doing, completely at random from 5 different boroughs representing 17 different schools. And they ended up coming to our trainings on Saturdays. They ended up visiting our schools. We ended up visiting our schools. And it went so well, they actually ended up being the folks to tell the chancellor and the districts and the folks who work in the district office, this is good stuff. We should be doing more of this. More schools should be going through this. And as a result of that, the chancellor contacted us to say, this is great for these 300, but I'd love for you to work with a specific district in New York City. And in New York City, the 32 districts are very large, 30, 40,000 students. We ended up meeting a very far-sighted district superintendent, Maury DeGovia, who was very excited to see our work in her district. And so we transformed from working with 300 teachers and leaders from 17 different schools to working with one particular district this past year. And within those districts, there are particular schools that are very excited. And one in particular comes to mind is the Brooklyn Landmark School. And they've not only made repeated visits to our schools to see what we're doing and what works at our schools, but we've had the opportunity to go to their school and not only see what's working at their schools to bring back to Uncommon, but also to see our work in a district context. So for example, we know that a longer day and a longer year is a hard reform to implement if you're a single principal at a single school in a large urban district. But there's so many other things that we do that make a difference. For example, one of the most important practices at Uncommon Schools is something that we call real-time feedback. So instead of a principal observing a teacher and then waiting a couple of weeks to share what he or she saw, our principals, our instructional leaders, work with our teachers in the moment. So if they see students struggling with a question that a teacher asked, instead of just writing down notes on a pad that they then tell them 2 weeks later, do you remember when the students were struggling? This is what you should have done. Right then and there, the principal will raise their hand, the teacher will call on the principal, and the principal would say, Ms. Johnson, I have an idea for another question we could ask the class. And that gives, it's a subtle way of giving feedback to the teacher of the question that will break the logjam that the students are facing right now. This partnership with New York City has been so successful, it's now transferred to Newark as well. The superintendent of Newark went to go visit North Star Academy Alexander Street Elementary School, which is our turnaround school that we took over from Newark Public Schools, and said, after visiting classes and seeing the results and seeing the data, seeing that we've closed the achievement gap in math and we've tied with the state performance, even though our students are 85% qualify for free and reduced lunch, they're tying the state in terms of performance. He came to visit North Star Alexander and he said, I want to bottle what you do. Since then, all the assistant superintendents have come to visit, and since then, we've now begun training Newark school leaders and Newark public school teachers on reading and math instruction, and we're looking forward to that expanding even further.